Okay, so if you're a project manager, you know this feeling, right? You're staring at a risk register that's a mile long, and every single item on there is screaming, I'm a project killer. It is completely and utterly overwhelming. It's like you're standing in the path of a storm. You've got 100 different things threatening to blow your project completely off course. I mean, the sheer volume of what could go wrong. It's the kind of stuff that keeps you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. And that's the real question, isn't it? Because let's be honest, you can't fix everything at once. You've only got so much time, so much money, and definitely so much energy. So where do you even start? How do you figure out which risks truly matter?
Right, let's make this real. Imagine you're the project manager for the annual Little Puddleton Village Fete. The goal is simple, very noble: raise enough cash to fix the leaky church roof, a classic British problem. But just like any project, a lot can go wrong.
So you've got your worry list. What if it absolutely tips it down with rain? What if the bouncy castle hire is way more than you budgeted for? What if Aunt Mildred's scones cause a village-wide scandal? And oh, don't even get me started on the Morris dancers demanding more beer money. This beautiful, chaotic list is your project's risk register. So how on earth do you sort through this mess? Well, you need a secret weapon. And in the world of project risk, that weapon is called the tornado diagram. It's this brilliant tool designed to just slice right through the noise and show you where the real trouble is hiding. So what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, it's a special kind of bar chart. It takes all those worries of yours, figures out their potential impact, and then stacks them up, biggest on top, smallest on the bottom. And when it does that, it creates this distinctive funnel shape, hence the tornado. And this is where the magic happens. It takes that jumbled, anxiety-inducing worry list on the left and transforms it into a clear, prioritized action plan on the right. It literally moves you from headless chicken panic to focused, calm strategy. Okay, so let's get into how you actually read one of these things using our beloved Village Fete. It's way simpler than it looks, I promise. First things first, you gotta put some numbers on these worries. You have to figure out the best and worst case scenarios for each one. So for the weather, you might figure, okay, worst case, torrential rain costs us £800 in ticket sales, but best case, glorious sunshine might boost profits by £200. You just go down your list and do that for every single variable. Now you plot that data, the total range for each risk, from its worst downside to its best upside. That's what determines the length of its bar. You stack them with the biggest range on top, and voila! You have your tornado diagram. And just like that, the chaos becomes crystal clear. You can see by a country mile that the weather has the biggest power to make or break your fundraising goal. And that's the golden rule. It's so beautifully simple. The longest bar at the top is the thing your project is most sensitive to. That is your number one headache, your top priority. For our little fete, it's not the Morris Dancers Beer Fund or the bouncy castle. It's the famously, wonderfully unpredictable British weather. And this really gets to the heart of it. The diagram tells you where to point your precious energy. Look, you can't control the weather, obviously, but because you now know it's your single biggest risk, you can spend your time on a solid plan B, renting a big marquee or booking the village hall as a backup. It helps you make smart decisions based on data, not just gut feelings. But hold on, before you rush off to build one of these for yourself, a quick word of warning. This tool is brilliant, but it has a couple of quirks you need to know about to use it right. This is the big one, the most important rule of any kind of data analysis, really. Garbage in, garbage out. Your tornado diagram is only as good as the numbers you feed it. If your estimates for the upsides and downsides are just wild guesses you pulled out of thin air, your chart isn't just useless, it's going to be dangerously misleading. Also, it's worth knowing that the simple chart we just built assumes that each risk is its own little island. It tests one thing at a time. But in the real world, risks are connected, aren't they? I mean, torrential rain is definitely going to affect how many of Aunt Mildred's scones you sell. So just know that for really complex projects, there are more advanced versions, the pro versions, that use fancy techniques to see how all the risks are tangled together. So let's bring this all home. When you boil it all down, what is the ultimate value of having this secret weapon in your project management toolkit? Look, in a nutshell, the tornado diagram is all about turning that overwhelming chaos into absolute clarity. It gives you a visual, can't-miss-it priority list. It forces you to focus your limited time and money on the risks that can do the most damage or good. It gets you to stop worrying about the small stuff and start making smart, strategic decisions. Ultimately, this little chart is your secret weapon for strategic focus. It gives you the confidence to know what you should actually be worrying about. So take a look at your own projects. What are the variables? And which one is sitting right there at the very top of your tornado? That's where you start.